Gavin. Thank you. Tom Gavin, Vice President of Sales here at End-to-End Lightleap AI. Thank you, everyone, for taking some time out of this busy holiday season to learn about our new tool, Interceptor AI. It's a plagiarism blocker, and we're going to go through some of the problems that schools are facing. We'll talk about how our solution helps defend your integrity, and then we're going to show you a live demonstration of how it works with various AI browsers and bots. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then I'm going to let Kieran and Amol go ahead and introduce yourselves as well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kiran Koditala, founder and CEO of End-to-End Services. Some of you have probably known me and seen me on one of our flagship products, which is Illuminate, which is our integration platform as a service that's used by 500 plus academic institutions, education institutions. We process close to 3 million transactions a day. And our latest AI platform, Lightleap AI. Lightleap AI has multiple modules that Tom will speak about, and one of the modules, which is of interest for majority of you, is our fraud detection module, ORION. But we are excited to talk about our AI module as part of the Atlas family, which is our Intercept module to stop academic integrity fraud. Amal?
Thanks, Kiran. My name is Amol Deshmukh, and I work at End2End as an AI developer. I'm really excited to be here and talk about our product here. Thanks. Back to you, Tom.
Yeah, thank you, Amol. And just for some housekeeping, Sai Gupta is on the call. He's one of our fraud elimination developers, and he's going to monitor the chat and questions that you have. We do encourage questions as we're going through the presentation, and as mentioned, Sai will keep an eye on those and let us know about any questions that you all have.
Sure, Tom.
Thank you, Sai. We're planned for about 45 minutes just for your clocks as you want to look at that, and we will stay on for additional questions as well. But traditionally, cheating has been kind of passing that note from individual to individual. And then in 2020, Circa really changed how we look at that. It went from very much in school to an online approach to classes, and the gap between abilities to see students and how they were cheating just kind of grew and grew and grew. And there have been tools that have shrunk it a little bit, but they're not necessarily so much proactive. Kieran, you want to touch base on how it's kind of evolved since 2020 as we progress into 2025?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the evolution of cheating has been something we all have seen, right? People passing notes or looking over the shoulder and stuff like that. I remember in my college where people were like rolling up, sheets of paper in their pants and shirts and stuff like that. But in 2025, especially starting 2024, a lot has changed. We've seen in 2024 where students would have the question on the screen and they would take a picture using their mobile phone and search for answer on ChatGPT and respond. And that was, you know, and cheating is cheating, right? All cheating is bad, so there is no gradient of cheating. But there is a certain perception for online learning that at least while they're typing, since they're typing in the answer, there was some silent admission that as long as they're at least typing in the answer, it's a good thing. But in 2025, or especially a couple of months, since the last couple of months, everything has changed significantly with the release of Atlas browser and Chrome extensions like Casify, Solidify, Cheatify, where they explicitly have like TikTok videos of kids talking about where, when a quiz opens up, discussion forum opens up, they can literally click the Chrome extension or open up the AI browser and it will read the question, look at all the options. If it's a multiple choice question and answer it, or if it's an essay question, come up with an essay and write it. It has wreaked havoc on classrooms, on online learning, and the like. And I don't know if the institutions are prepared for it. Obviously, if it's a proctored test, then that's a different example because a proctored test, like they use things like Turnitin and others, where there is a mechanism to stop that from happening or at least capture that from happening. But if it is a regular substantiative interaction where your institutions are just trying to make sure that the students are learning as part of their online learning, especially asynchronous learning, they're not prepared for learners cheating on their discussions or using AI responses on quizzes. So the rule book has been completely thrown out of the window with respect to online learning. Back to you, Tom.
You're exactly right. It just has evolved so much. I remember when I first found like that record button on my computer where it would transcribe my words, my spoken words into written words. And I used that a lot to get me through my bachelor's program later in life. But it truly has just completely changed to where students are actually using these AI bots to not only do the homework for them, but it's doing them without any interaction at all. And that's where RSI and kind of the circa compliance comes into place. But RSI is more of that academic penalties for doing so. Kieran, I pose this question to you. Do you see these AI bots and things of that nature, really causing the RSI to be kind of put in place and them starting to enforce some of those penalties and sanctions that could come about from using these AI bots?
Yeah, I think there's two parts to this. One is I think Dorababu, I believe, he is asked a very important question, Dorababu Rambala, where should we switch the focus from like just thinking about AI cheating or instead of AI literacy? I 100% agree. I think there is a certain goal that we need to have as institutions to move our education curriculum itself from more of a teacher and learner paradigm to a more of a facilitator learner paradigm where learners are still learning on their own, but teachers or instructors are more of facilitating, guiding, mentoring, supporting, whatever the terms you want to use to help the students learn. So the paradigm shift is something we should think about, and that's definitely well outside the scope of our conversation on this. But I would love to have a philosophical discussion on that as well. But from the real brass tacks problem of online learning, if you think about the educational system that we have so far for an in-person learning, institutions get things like Pell Grants and others based on satisfactory academic progress. And satisfactory academic progress includes obviously midterm grades and final grades, and most importantly, attendance as well. So if it's an in-person class, you are evaluating them on their in-person attendance. If it's a synchronous online class, you can in theory evaluate them on attendance, unless they're using, I don't know, their AI avatar to attend their class for them, which is a different discussion altogether. But if it's an asynchronous learning, which is most of the online learning now is built around, your satisfactory academic progress or regular substantiative interaction is completely dependent on students' interaction with the learning content. And the interaction elements are things like quizzes, discussions, forums, assignments, and institutions' financial aid and their financial aid eligibility is dependent on the institution's ability to create regular and substantiative interaction, monitor regular and substantiative interaction, and make sure that students are evaluated based on this regular substantiative interaction. So, as this threat becomes real, if institutions don't really pay attention to this, or if they ignore the fact that majority of the students are literally using AI bots to respond to discussions and forums and quizzes and then they're not taking ownership of their online learning, and that can actually have true consequences on whether the program can continue being available for students and learners. And I think that can have true financial consequences as well.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're saying that it's one thing for the school to implement processes where they're having to interact not only with the instructor but also with additional students and things of that nature. But when AI comes in and becomes that interaction tool, that's where we really run into problems related to, compliance with RSI, circa compliance, and just in generally students not learning in adapting to digesting the information that's trying to be taught. So, higher education AI threats is not only related to academic integrity, that is our main focus today, but it also is at the admission level, the financial aid level. And these things come into play in various ways as well. And we're going to dive into what some of these tools look like that students are using. But if you look at just the cost of bad AI in higher education, and that's one of the phrases that we like to use is, there's bad AI out there, and we like to think of ourselves as a good AI that would stop those things. So at admissions, some of the schools that we've worked with, 2 out of every 7 is a fraudster that's actually trying to get into their system. The financial aid is in the billions of dollars that has been lost. And then I just did some research as I was preparing for this presentation where an RSI fine can be 27,000 per violation. You look at just 50 of those and you can be up in the 1.3 million in loss. And not only that, but also government subsidy losses as well. So the cost can be quite daunting if you don't take advantage of tools that are going to stop that.
Yeah, I have a very interesting question from Michael. I want to definitely take that online, take that live. So the Michael's question is really powerful, where I think he cites this, and I should somehow figure out a way to post it. If you haven't, if you can see it on the Q&A, I can. Obviously, I don't want to read the whole thing, but what Michael brings up is a very powerful question about when they ran through the answers from PhD students, and they saw that majority of the students, like, over 30 different, was considered AI generated. And on the surface, it looks like that's scary, but Michael added another wrench to this, where he sent it through his, research paper from 25 years ago through AI, and it would respond back as it's AI generated. And I don't know the algorithm you use. Definitely, if you're using ChatGPT or OpenAI, I can see how that can happen with respect, because they have, it's possible that the training was implemented based on the content, right? So if it's a public paper. We just need to look at that internally. But I do think that one of the risks that we run into, especially with the AI plagiarism detection tools, is exactly that, is that sometimes the detection tools themselves are heavily are wrong. And if anything, any AI detections, plagiarism detection score under 40%, we consider that as pretty much standard, because, that's just part of, I feel like 40% is like the baseline on human written content. I would almost argue that if the AI plagiarism score is under 30% or under 20%, it's probably more of an outlier than real. So, Michael, definitely, I want to research that with you and kind of talk about which models you're using as well. But I
Yeah,
think
and
that
he
brings
brings
up
up
an important point, that we can't just take AI threat detection tools on the surface as a true absolute truth as well. I think that's why Dorababu's comment about AI literacy is important, is knowing what AI is capable of catching and not catching is important. And we'll get into that as part of our solution.
Yeah, and I know when my daughter was taking a class at a community college, and she's very good at writing, and it was a written aspect, and she did it, and the teacher came back and thought it was plagiarism, and she was kind of distraught, right? She felt like she had been misrepresented, and the AI tools kind of uh, judged her incorrectly. And I think that is a big problem that we're seeing with some of the AI tools out there today. What we're going to show you today is a way for you guys to be able to detect those as they're happening, to be able to look at records that show exactly if an AI bot was used as part of that process through them using it. And I think that's where the real magic is in the fact that we can actually provide you with reports, show you that AI has been used in a certain situation, as well as give them warnings, kind of like a siren in your in your rear window that hey, you're using AI tools and this is against our policy. So what we've got up on the screen here is just what is it? One is this Perplexity, Amul?
Yes, a Perplexity Comet browser, which is an AI browser, one of the many that are available on the market.
Yeah, and so this tool is just going through there and it's just answering the questions for the student without them having to even think. And we'll talk about how easy it is for a student to set this up and actually have it look for homework that's assigned to them and then to actually just do it for them.
Yeah, so it's exactly as you described. You can just download Perplexity Comet browser and tell it to go fetch my quiz that is due today or due next week. And it will go and open that page for you. You don't even have to click on different links, go to Canvas. It will do all that thing for you. And as we are showing on this video here, the user just said answer question number two. And then it went ahead, read the question, came up with the answer, typed it in the box. Everything is done without any user action while the user was probably watching football or whatever that they were doing. So it's as easy as that.
Yeah, let's see what it looks like from our perspective and what we're trying to do. So, the Atlas Interceptor will intercept and block calls made to third-party websites. And we'll kind of walk us through some of the things that Atlas Interceptor does here.
Yeah, so whenever so we there so AI browsers, whenever an AI browser is in play and is interacting with your Canvas quiz or assignment or a discussion, it leaves breadcrumbs, and we can detect those. And we can then confidently say that AI browser is being used here. And we will show a demo about that. But basically, any calls to the third-party websites, the our intercept module will bar them. It will copying and pasting. Again, this is configurable. If you don't want students to copy and paste, we will put that feature in, and then users won't be able to copy and paste. They will have to type that answer in, and hopefully, as part of the typing, they're doing some learning. And also, there are AI browser extensions that are AI-based browser extensions. They also leave some trace while they are doing, your DOM gets modified, or you'll see said page suddenly scrolling up and down. So all those things our module is going to detect, and with 100% accuracy, it's going to report all that user activity. And then you can use that user activity to really confidently say that this user did use AI to solve the quiz or participate in the discussion or write that assignment that was given to them. So yeah, these are some of the features, and most of these features are configurable. So we allow you to take the features off or on, put a warning sign or not. It's totally configurable depending on institution's need.
Yeah, it's quite amazing what it does, and we're going to show you that here in just a second. But it really sounds like the key thing that it does is going to provide you with the ability to confirm that an AI browser was definitely used for a specific piece of homework. So that eliminates that kind of confrontation about guessing whether they used it or not. It's going to be clear, concise messaging. And it's also, it seems like this would be great to not only prove the fact that you are doing your due diligence as an institution to block some of the things that the students may be using AI for. So, Kieran, I'm going to post this one to you, and my question to you is, can you see this being something that would be helpful as far as the circa reviews they do in providing information as far as reports and things of that nature to show that you are tracking these things and you're stopping students from doing that?
Yeah, there was one very important question that was posted on the Q&A. I
Sure.
think that talks about the configurable part. Patricia, thank you for that question. Patricia was asking whether it lives on college's computers or in Canvas. So it's a completely configurable Canvas plugin. It can be installed with almost like within 10 minutes, obviously with the right privileges, maybe half an hour, where it can be installed to do many things. Obviously, it can, like Amal was talking about, it can stop copy paste from happening altogether, where literally the bot tries to, or the learner for that matter, posts and copy paste content, it will erase it. But it also has ability to configure. You can configure it at both account level, so that you can say this student is needs additional special tools because they have learning disability, so they need ability to use, I don't know, some kind of an extension or plugin or copy paste. You can configure that at account level, but you can also configure that or a user level, but you can configure some things at the account level to say only log all bot activity, only log all extension activity. Or you can also add, think of it like a traffic signal, right? You can also add a warning signal or warning message to the students to say, warning, we detected bot activity. Warning, we detected unauthorized tool activity, and it would stop the students. And I feel like that has a lot more value than, I don't know, it obviously it's all at the institution's level, but this was in 1999, obviously, when I was roommates with a couple of computer science students, and one of the guys came back to the room crying because like, hey, my professor called me to my room saying, we caught you on plagiarism because they were able to run their dissertation paper or some kind of project paper through a plagiarism detection tool, and they were able to flag it. So sometimes those alerts or warnings are just as powerful than failing them or something like that. So, but ultimately, as an administrator at institution, you can kind of create configuration and say, for this classroom, only log any AI interactions. For this classroom, stop it from happening altogether. For this classroom, send an email to the instructor. Whatever those interactions are, they're all configurable through Canvas plugin. Amal, did I capture that correctly?
Yes. Yeah. So instead of classroom, it would just be course. But yeah, we can, everything is configurable. Whether you want to show the warnings to the student, how you want that warning to show up, that's configurable. Yeah.
I think we have one more questions in the QA. So how we
So
can integrate?
I'm tracking Adam's questions about, yeah. So Adam, yes, it's an LTI plugin, but it's also available as a a Canvas extension as well. So we'll send you instructions on how to download it and test it out as well. And yes, account level means user level. Sorry, account level means at the organization level, course level, and then obviously the user level also. Reason why we're providing user level controls is so that if they need additional, for example, some of the tools that we use to stop bot activity are confusing tools that Let's say somebody needs ADA requirements to be able to use voice to text permission. So for those, we need exception handling. That's why we meant user account level as well. And there's another question, so I'm going to answer live on that.
Let me pause the questions for just a second, if I could,
Yep.
Karen, and
Yep.
we'll just digest those because I think everyone is ready to see what it looks like, right? I think this is going to probably answer some questions as well. And let's get into what the actual tool looks like itself. And so
Okay.
I'm going
Yeah.
to
So then, just to please continue to type your questions in, and I like Dorobabu's commentary as well. So this sounds really promising information. But yeah, please let's look at the solution itself, and then I'll take on as Amal and I will take as many questions as I can.
Great, thank you. So what we're looking at here is um, go ahead, Amol. Help me with this. It's a Perceptify plugin that they're using, and the Orion tool is working here to show that they're doing that. But Amol, please walk us through this.
Yeah, so this is again the Perplexity Comet browser again, but however, now our plugin is installed and the black screen that you are seeing under the questions list of the question one, question two, that screen right there is our through our Intercept module. And as you can see, it clearly identified Perplexity Comet browser. It detected that and logged it. Now, we don't have to show that black screen right there, the way it is currently showing. Or you could, as Kiran was saying, you can serve that as a warning message to students saying, certain things were detected. Or this basically is just to show that our module is able to detect the Comet, the AI browser activity, and that information can be logged to the server. So basically, the quiz ID, the course ID, the student ID, and your institution, all that information, and the type of browser that was detected, all that information will be logged on the server for you to download and be able to report on. So this is just an example, and in this particular example, we have disabled, we have locked it down. So now AI browser is getting frustrated. It's trying various different ways to enter the answer in there. So it cleared out that input box. It's trying to insert it, but it's just gonna fail. It's just gonna try over and over. I mean, it's very frustrating to see that, but it's actually fun. But it's kind of goes on and eventually it is going to give up and it's going to say copy and paste. But however, in this configuration, we have disabled copy and paste as well. So the student cannot just copy number 20, which is the answer number one, copy and then paste it in the input box there. So yeah, I mean, the AI browser is currently trying various different ways to get the answer in, but it's just failing to do that.
It's kind of cool to see the bots kind of battling back and forth, right, if you will. So one of the things that I always have a question about is this Orion output area here. Can that be customized to say, hey, this is against school policy, or these activities are being tracked and noted as plagiarism, or whatever the school wanted to say? How customizable is that area?
Yes, everything is customizable. We can have a pop-up show up, or we can have a a window like this, or do nothing and just log everything to the server silently. Depending on institution's needs, we can certainly configure our module based on the
Well,
needs.
not silently. We log it and send a report to the instructor or the administrator or whomever, whatever the escalators are. But yeah, it's entirely up to you, and we can also create a dashboard in Canvas as well, so that you can see student name, bot activity, and other related information as well.
And one of the things we had a conversation about with one of the schools we were talking to was, can we turn this on for the first part of the semester and track the activity and then turn it off? And as you mentioned, kind of not behind the scenes, but track to see if the activity decreased for a specific time. Is that we're capable of doing that as well?
Um,
Can it? And I know it can. So one of the things that it can do is, so if we were to turn it on at the beginning of the semester or at any time during the semester. We can then run A/B type tests to see if it deterred students from actually using the platform or not. And we can monitor that and track it and put it in play in certain areas and then turn it on and off to see how that goes as well.
That's right. The also we will keep our logs for 7 years, so that way you can track throughout their journey, giving a warning to them. Did it improve their behavior? Did they stop or reduce their AI usage? We can observe all of that throughout their journey and uh, inject ourselves and try to course correct students' behavior in some shape or form.
Kieran, do you have a question that you'd like to answer that's come across?
Oh, there's tons of questions. I definitely don't want to spoil the flow of your presentation. Why don't we finish that and then we'll start answering questions as well?
That sounds great. Okay, so this is another browser that you can insert. This one is called Acify. Amal, there's Cheatify, and I'll go ahead and let you run through what we're looking at here. But this is them just deploying one of those extensions.
Yeah, so this is an ACFI extension, and as you can see, it injects these buttons against this question. It reads the page, identifies where the questions are, inserts the button. All you, the student, have to do is click on that button. It's gonna give you an answer, and you can copy and paste. So like that, we clicked on that button. Now it's processing the question, and it's gonna come up with the answer. But if you have disabled the copy and paste functionality, this browser extension becomes useless. Also, we have the configuration will allow you to remove these buttons that were added by the browser extension. Shortly after this video, you're going to see that the same Orion output is going to show that right there, ACFI browser extension detected. So it detected that. And then if based on institution's configuration, we can remove these buttons altogether or log the activity, which button they clicked and what answer they got. This AC5 button also has a screenshot functionality. If your question was an image, you can just click on that button, take a screenshot of it. AC5 will answer that question, and then you copy and paste the answer. So we can disable that screenshot functionality as well. So they just cannot take any screenshots, copy the question, paste it somewhere else. They will have to painfully type that question to get the answer on a different browser. And even then, if you get the answer, they cannot copy and paste that answer. They'll have to type it in. So it's just kind of a way to encourage them to stop the behavior that is not acceptable. So that's the screenshot functionality that's currently being shown.
Yeah, it's super powerful in the way it detects it and it gives you the ability to report on it as well. Thank you for that. So we can go ahead and open it up to some questions. I'll just leave this up here for a second while we answer some questions,
Yeah.
and we'll shut it down for to answer additional questions as well.
All right, cool. Tons of activity on the Q&A. Thank you so much for everybody for posting this. Yes, I'm going to start with Dad's question about as some Canvas data can be subject to FERPA and or PII, how does Atlas handle data? So, as you probably know, Lightleap itself is a AI, private AI environment. So we don't really, every institution gets a secure AI tenant. So whatever data we store will be in your private AI tenant. And we actually are not storing any PII information as part of this platform. We're only, if the only PII information, if there is one, is probably going to be their Canvas ID and first name and last name, but we can work with you on making sure that it is secured in your private and tenant in a way that it doesn't really impact the FERPA and PII. And if you aren't aware, like End2End is a 15-year-old company. We are SOC 2 Level 2 certified for the last 4 years, and we take our securities and compliances very seriously. We'll be happy to share our FERPA guidance and SOC 2 compliance information as well. So then Don asked a question about, does this mean we can install it in a way that each instructor can choose how to use it in their course? I think this is somewhat configurable, but I do think that Some of this is a institutional level configuration where institutions can set it up at an account or organization level. But the instructors will have an ability to enable or disable it and configure it. Amal, do you have any additional inputs on that?
Yeah, I mean, basically uh, instead of asking individual instructors to do it, we could also get an option, get a list of courses, quizzes, and the configuration that the instructor is wanting, and then do a batch upload into the system. So whatever makes it easy, however, whatever makes sense to your institution, depending on how many instructors you have, how many courses, or what type of differences there are between one instructor to the other or one quiz to the other. So we can offer different ways you can get that configuration into our system. So depending on the variety that is required, we will offer the best approach to integrate that configuration into the system.
Yep. And Adam has a question about would the app modify the canvas's JavaScript? I don't think it modifies the canvas's JavaScript, right? It is a new custom plugin.
Yeah, so in the theme, in the JavaScript, we will give 5 or 6 lines of code that's just gonna go into your theme. And then what it's gonna do is it's gonna download the JavaScript component of our Intercept module. And that is gonna do the certain how, some of the functionality that we are offering. And then that's basically the installation, and that's going to be the change that's going to be needed on the institution side. I think you are on mute.
Sorry. An anonymous attendee asked, like, this works as well in Canvas app in the browser. Yes, it does work on the Canvas app and the browser, but we'll continue to test it and make sure that it works on different flavors of the apps and browsers as well. Ryan asks, what's the scenario in which this would be used? Only in proctored tests or online? Easy to get around at these issues. This would be only fetch your average cheater. You can't prevent me from taking screenshots or phone pictures and get the answers and type in slowly. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that. We can't stop all cheating. We are definitely not claiming to be. The scenario that where we are trying to stop it is from people using AI browsers or AI extensions to automatically type in the answers. We don't think, at least for now, we're not framing this as a replacement or competition to Turnitin or other proctor testing tools. This is purely for regular and substantive interactions that have not been proctored. For asynchronous learning, your discussions, assignments, and quizzes are generally used to help to make sure that students are reading the content, and then answering some basic questions to evaluate whether the students are actually learning, because these are for asynchronous online courses, and we are trying to protect academic integrity there. And that question is right. If a student or a learner pulls that question up, takes a screenshot using the phone, and sends it to ChatGPT and gets the answer, that this solution, or I don't even know if there's any other solution that would stop it, because regular and async online courses are easy. It's no different than somebody pulling up a book and reading it and finding the answer, but that's not what we're after. Um, so, and on another anonymous attendee asks, how much control does an individual instructor have over the settings? I'm specifically thinking about copy paste as a strategy that can be useful in some tasks. Amal, you want to take that?
Yeah, so based on the course or a particular quiz or even a particular question within a quiz, we can enable or disable copy paste. So if instructor one wants question number 5 on their quiz number 6, we can enable or disable copy paste functionality on that one.
And Ryan asks again, what prevents a student from typing? It's just a few characters. Yeah, I mean, yes, the student can type the answer. There is nothing that would stop them from doing that. Obviously, we can't, we can't stop them from being able to cheat by, sending the question to mobile and then taking a screenshot on mobile and answering it. There's nothing we can do about that. Right. So,
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just
does it
cover a
matter
few
what
things.
browser Canvas is running on? No, I think right now we are testing all sorts of browsers, and we are responding to that. We are trying to test it, but yeah, we are tested on Chrome browser and Edge browser, and obviously Proximity and Atlas browser as well. I think I answered this question about how does it compared to Honor Lock and Proctor U. I don't think we are asking we're trying to compete with Proctor U or Honor Lock, especially for Proctor test. This is for asynchronous online learning interactions like discussions, assignments, and essays. Michael asks, in our schools, starting in elementary schools, kids are issued a school laptop. Would this be linked on issued laptop? This is an LMS plugin. If they're using Canvas, for now we are focused on Canvas plugin. If it is elementary school, they're using a lot of other non-Canvas LMSs like It's Learning and others. We are currently not focused on that.
So, I mean, sorry to interject, Kiran.
Mhm.
If they are using Canvas and if that snippet of code that we give as part of our intercept module is inserted in the Canvas organization, it will work just equally on any Canvas installation, whether it's for elementary school, college, or PhD
Yeah,
level.
but elementary schools have no other LMSs outside of Canvas. We are just trying to be focused on just for now, all our attention and compatibility is focused on Canvas. And Alfredo asks, would it be available in mobile browser or Canvas mobile as well? We have tested it on all of these flavors, and we feel confident that it'll work on all of them. Don asks, I know this is new, but you've suggested or have schools developed messaging to warn students this is installed. And yeah, absolutely. This is something it is fully configurable. So they will need, institutions have to develop their AI browser and these new plugins are like relatively new. They're actually just Atlas was launched only 2 months ago. So institutions are building their academic integrity policies to prepare for this. So we will work with you to prepare that messaging or share some templates with you as well. Another anonymous attendee asks, does it matter what browser Canvas is running on? I don't think so. This is part of the Canvas operating system. Amal, do you have anything to share there?
No, it doesn't matter which browser the user is using. Our intercept module will work just fine.
And Chris asks, is this tool actively in use by institutions? Not yet. We are currently collaborating with a few institutions to test it out to make sure this is all like fits with their academic policy and academic integrity policy. And we're just being reactive to this growing threat. I was only brought up that this was a problem by Jory Hassel from Fortaleza College just a couple of months ago, actually less than a month ago, that this was a growing threat. And we are, just like we always been, we always put our customers and customer partners on the top of our innovation queue, and we decided to collaborate and adapt to that. And that's why we are piloting with a couple of institutions. Ryan asks, how do you prevent a student from opening a different browser or AI tool? Do you expect the schools to use lockdown browser? Um, I think it's a no, we can't stop a student from opening a different browser or an AI tool. Lockdown browser, I don't think is necessary as long as The Canvas plugin works as long as they're trying to do it within Canvas. So it doesn't matter whether you're using lockdown browser or not. We'll continue to evaluate it. We don't expect that these are the only few AI bots that will be available. It is the only few browsers available. We'll continue to adapt and evolve to meet the moment and continue to add more extensions into the dark list or fraud list and not fraud list. Um, I think this was answered. Couldn't the student take a picture with their phone and use an AI tool? We've answered that. Yes, they can, and there's nothing we can do about it. Um, Alexandra asked, would you be able to see what Orion looks like in an assignment, not a quiz? You want to show that? Well,
It's gonna work the same way. Copy and paste. Well, if there is a browser, if they are taking any screenshot of the discussion forum or any question, that will be tracked. If they are trying to copy and paste functionality is disabled, they just won't be able to paste it. Even if you allowed copy and paste, and if they still pasted their content, um, then the activity that the fact that they pasted the content from some other source will be logged in the system, and then you can decide, what to do with it. And I mean, so the it's going to work the same way. One of the questions on the quizzes was a text area or the open text. So that's the same. It's just going to work the same way.
yeah,
If
and we'll
time
send
permits, I can certainly show that as a
Yeah, we'll
demo.
send a recording. About the product, what's the maintenance pipeline for it to remain current? Yes, this is a subscription plan. You'll get a subscription plan that includes support for Canvas and different AI browsers and AI plugins, and you will continue to evolve and keep up to date with that. Adam asked a question. I think Amal, this is for you. So, is it an LTI or just custom JavaScript at the theme mod level in Canvas? Amal, you want to take
It's the
that?
latter. It's not an LTI plugin. LTI plugin, the reason why we went this route is that it's just a lot easier to apply it across the account, across all quizzes, all courses quickly. LTI plugin it will have to be enabled on a particular course, yes, no. So it's a custom JavaScript, and it just needs to the 5 or 6 lines of code that just need to be pasted just once. And to add more color to Kiran's earlier commentary, these browser extensions and AI browsers both are gonna keep evolving, and it's gonna be a cat and mouse game. New browser extensions will come in, they will use different tactics to do this, and our Intercept module is gonna keep up with that, and there's no additional cost to it. We will be making those real-time updates, and they will all be passed on to all the clients in real time.
Yeah. Anonymous attendee asks, like, how does this help to make sure students aren't using AI tools to write their papers when they submit to Canvas assignment? I think we answered this. There will be, we have a plagiarism tracker plugin that will be able to try grade it, but I think if they are trying to use copy paste to write it and type it in directly, it obviously stops it. But the copy and paste functionality should stop it if they're trying to just like copy it from ChatGPT or Gemini or others and don't do this. But yeah, I think we answered that. Can full functionalities be available on Canvas LTI? Browser extensions and/or installing another browser can be barriers for some students, hence determining the equity aspect. There is no browser extensions the student needs to install. It is going to be once you install it, it's just going to be part of Canvas. Like there's nothing the student has to do. There's nothing an instructor has to do. There's nothing any other administration has to do. It's just a one-time install at the administrator level and it will be available on any Canvas uh, interface, whether it's on mobile or browser or any browser they open it in. Adam asks, regarding the lines of code installed in Canvas, it sounds like we'd be hosting a link to provide to product CDN. We usually don't do that. Is there an option to do a code review before we load that in and host the code locally or get updates and change notifications for the CDN? Okay, Adam, sorry, Amal, that's like your question. And Adam, we definitely want to talk to you about this as well. But Amal, I'll let you take this.
Um, Yeah, I mean, we can certainly, if you could get in touch with Tom, that will be the first
Yeah,
the line of attack. I think we can work with you and come up with a solution that works for you.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but you're on the right track, Adam. Like, we do have, yeah, we'll work with you on that. And again, we can, yeah, let's just answer that privately. Alfredo asks, is browser activity only tracking students or teachers as well? No, where right now our focus is only learners. We have no intention of starting to, unless, yeah, we don't expect an institution to start tracking teachers or because, they have the right to use whatever they want to use. What happens when the instructor is using a question bank where it can randomize questions and a student receives? How can they set the permissions? Okay, I don't know the answer to this question. Amal, do you
Um,
know?
yeah, so it's all configurable. We can work with you on that. Without going into further details, it's going to be, and the question ID is what's going to be used, not the the appearance of the question on the quiz.
Yeah, Adams asked a question about assignment where assignments require an upload of a Word document. Yeah, that is outside the scope of this plugin because this plugin only catches like real-time action on discussions or others. If they upload a document, then you have to use standard plagiarism detection tools, which we have as well, and we'll provide those as a plugin. They're no different than Grammarly and some of these other plugins, but we'll include that in part of our package. Amber asks, do instructor enable it in assignments one by one or course as a whole? No, it's course as a whole. We don't need to, we're not expecting any assignment level settings or all our settings are at the account level or institution level or the course level at the user level, but user level are more like exceptions. Um, and Gurley asks an important question. Are you working with FCC to have this available on all CCC institutions? Yes, this is already available as part of the Atlas family of products. We will send instructions to all the California Community College students on how to buy it through College Buys with a simple purchase order or a price code. I think I've already answered this question about list of schools using the tool. We'll move Dorababu's question for the end. Is plagiarism tracker currently available? Yes, I will send Don ask a question about plagiarism detection. We will send you the write-up on different plagiarism detection tools or API AI models or endpoints that we have available. We have an extensive research on that, and you can pick from different models. They are both paid plagiarism tracker models and free and free versions as well, depending on budget, and we'll share that. Can the student use an extension to block your JavaScript code? I we tried it. We have yeah, Amal, you want to take that?
Even if they block it, we send heartbeat. So
Mm.
if any heartbeat is missing, that's a red flag. So that is definitely a red flag. And when we generate our report, in the report you will see the closure of an open. So we're going to close the loop on that. And if the loop is not closed, that means someone is tampering with our extension, our own intercept module.
Yeah, but I can't imagine an browser extension interfering with the Canvas theme. That just doesn't make any sense. But it's possible that I don't know what he's talking about. Amber asks, does a screenshot block or interfere with the screenshots of Canvas content generally or only when an active assignment? Um,
Only active
does,
assignment
yeah.
and only on certain pages like quizzes, discussions, and assignments. That's only where our module actually activates. And also based on your configuration, we can enable or disable the screenshot functionality. And the screenshotting is different. Like you can take the computer-based screenshots just fine, but if you are trying to get a screenshot through an extension, that works differently, and that's the one that gets blocked, not the I use Mac, so there is a keyboard shortcut that I use to take a screenshot that will continue to work regardless, and because that's just outside of the browser.
Yeah. Cool. And Brian asked a very important question about this is all interesting. What does your support infrastructure look like? What call center, documentation, etc. So we obviously have a SLA that we'll share with you. That's part of the our standard contract. But we do have from a support infrastructure perspective, we do have a AWS Connect integration that allows us to do omni-channel communication if a student is stuck through the process, and we are finalizing that as part of the plugin. If a student gets stuck and they want to interact with the chat call center or the support system, our first line of defense is through AWS Connect, which, if you aren't familiar, which is a omni-channel communication that allows us to answer this question without needing a human interaction. But we do have a SLA system that allows us to route this communication directly to the institution, or obviously end to end as well. Does this work? Anonymous attendee asks, like, does this work with mobile application too? Yes, it does work on mobile application. Dorababu has a question about what are the specific examples or case studies of business outcomes achieved and after implementing end-to-ends product. Tom, you want to take that to talk about different business outcomes that end-to-ends outcome-based agents can have been helping institutions so that they can, Dorababu can see that.
Yeah, thank you. And it's wrapping up close to the hour, so it's perfect that you handed it back to me to kind of wrap things up and do a couple of house cleaning things as well. So we offer four kind of, or actually five baseline products that do various outcomes that you're looking to achieve. Document Intelligence is going to turn your standard PDFs into usable, actionable insights that you can then glean from that. Polaris is a student services accelerator, which basically helps students with compassion and speed. And then Atlas is the foundation that we built the Interceptor platform on, but it's also part of our integration platform, which in the past 15 years, that's been our core business where we integrate with things like Lucian, Workday, TouchNet, CourseDog, just to name a couple. And then Orion has really been our flagship AI solution that's deployed in over 100 schools, helping schools fight fraud from admission all the way through to financial aid. I did want to mention just two last things before we wrap up this afternoon. And one is thank you so much for your time in this conversation. And we'd love to continue that conversation, not only with meetings through myself and Amol and Karen, but also at our event at the Coca-Cola Roxy, which will be happening February 23rd, the evening of, as well as a full day interaction on 24th, where we're going to show our AI tools in live action. You'll be able to meet with individuals that are using that at their institutions and walk away with a game plan for your institution and how you can possibly deploy AI. So click on the link to register now for our Quantum Leap activities. And then just real quick, I'm going to bounce back to this one as well. You can get in touch with me directly via email. You can also go to lightleapai.com and click on for information to fill out the form. Or I've provided a QR code where you can hop on there and actually set up a meeting to meet with us right away. So Happy New Year, happy holidays to everyone. Kieran, I'll let you take us away.
Well, first of all, we've had several webinars in the last 15 years, at least in the last 7 years. We've never had a webinar with this level of questions, comments, and feedback. I don't know how to even react on the level of interest here. But I think I do understand why, because I think we're in this, Dorbabu was trying to convey the same thing, is that we are in this very interesting paradigm shift where technology has always been ahead of education, and till now it was somewhat manageable, right? Because we kept catching up to it when online learning came, when internet came, education moved reluctantly into online learning, and only to be forced by COVID to be moved into online learning. completely, adopting an online learning completely. And it was really a game changer, right? Because each institution wanted to move into online learning and had to move to online learning and successfully transition within 2 years between 2020 and 2022. Um, However, that did create an incredible opportunity for students to be able to learn on their own time and at their own pace. But I think now we are presented with another challenge with technology, where technology is now forcing education to take a look in the mirror themselves. And some of the changes are going to be strategic changes on how we rethink regular and substantive interaction, in the face of AI, but also continue to service our students and not treat every student as a cheat or a fraud or potentially fraud. I think that's where I think one of the NPR articles I heard, he's talking about AI potentially causing an incredible and unbridgeable rift between faculty members and students, to a point where faculty members are suddenly for the first time asking whether the student is in fact a student. And we can't afford to have that level of skepticism between learners and teachers. We want to get back into teachers respecting and trusting and um, guiding the students, and not be worried that their entire class is filled with bots. And that's our attempt here. Our attempt here is not to catch cheaters or flag cheaters or call every student as a cheater. Our attempt is to remove that friction and get us back into teachers teaching classes, or providing instructors and learners learning. And the best example I can think of why we called it Atlas Intercept is the way you see a sign while you're driving on the interstate, that a speed check radar detected or something. So as soon as the speed check radar detected sign comes up, everybody puts their brakes on, right? I generally drive at 85 miles per hour, and when I see that, I'm like, oh, now I'm going to switch to 75. And I think that's not because of anything else other than the fact that who wants to get caught, right? We feel that intercept is going to be like that. The intercept, the idea of when the institution says we now have a plugin that will catch fraud, log fraud, and alert the ombudsperson or academic integrity supervisor, students will get back into, let's just go back to a regular cheating, whatever that is, or regular learning. And I think that's okay. I think that's why we have to be ahead of AI. We have to continue to improve, monitor, and support and guide our learners, and get back into teaching instead of doubting our students, and get back into mentoring our students instead of treating them like they're all bots or fraudsters. So that's why we're here. We are here to protect academic integrity, not to catch cheaters.
Well, fantastic. Thank you again, everyone, for joining our presentation. It's been, like Karen mentioned, one of the best that I've been involved in. So we will be putting this out on YouTube, and that way you can share it with anyone that missed it as well. So again, happy holidays, happy New Year from all of us at End to End to you and yours. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.